Gruesome Magazine.
Hello once again, I'm your host, Doc Rotten, and this is Gruesome Magazine, where we review the very latest streaming and video on-demand horror movies. Each week, my co-host, Jeff Mohr, Crystal Cleveland, Christopher G. Mohr, and I will take a look at various spooky, scary, and gory genre offerings. Tonight, we're reviewing The Accursed.
Not to be confused with last year's The Accursed.
The Accursed. No. All right, let's introduce the crew, starting off with the one and only Jeff Mohr. Jeff, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing pretty good.
Wait,
you guys hear that?
Oh
fly?
no, the fly! I hear it, but I don't
see it, but I think I hear it.
You got it.
Crystal's heard this before.
That was a good one. Yeah.
No, okay, all right. Also joining us this week is Crystal Cleveland, the Living Dead Girl. How you doing?
And see, I don't. Yeah.
Oh, I love it. All right. Also
speechless. She's speechless.
Yeah,
what is going on?
Also joining us is award-winning filmmaker Christopher G. Mohr.
You know, flies are usually attracted to certain types of things, and that's very appropriate. Yeah, I'm doing well. It's accursed.
It's accursed.
He's not gonna let this mod.
Hey, Mario, it's accursed. I'm gonna do this from now on until the end of the year. I'm gonna make Mario
till the accursed movie comes out, right?
Yes.
Oh! All right. What we're going to do tonight is we're going to start off giving our first impression of The Accursed, and that will be spoiler free. And then we'll get into a discussion. Now we'll get into spoilers and twist and whatever else happens in this movie, if we know what that is. And then we'll wrap things up with our score 1 to 5 and our favorite scene. Of course, we hope you enjoy not only this review, but many others that we have on the site. And if you do, please hit the like, subscribe, or share with a friend buttons, and help us reach a goal of 5,000 subscribers. Yay! Because only you can help us do that.
Yes.
Yep.
Yay! All right, let's jump into the card and get things going. The Accursed. And yes, the poster does happen in the movie. It's not a fake poster. Available in theaters and on demand beginning October 15th, 2022. Shudder is not the word that should be there. Sorry about that. Synopsis: Elly is asked by a family friend, Mena Suvari, to look after an elderly woman, Meg Foster, living in a remote cabin for just a few days. She agrees, but soon discovers there is a demon hiding in the woman, just waiting to break free. You might know how she breaks free, the demon, if you look at the poster. Yeah. All right. Directed by Kevin Lewis, written by Rob Kennedy. The cast includes Mena Suvari, Meg Foster, Alexis Knapp, Sarah Dumont, Sarah Gray,
yeah.
Troy James, Sherman Augustus. Listen.
That last name was cursed for you.
Doc, from now on, just pretend like they're Italian names.
I just think it's funny that the most simplest name is the one you stumble over. I think somebody's swallowed your blood and cursed you with being able to pronounce simple words.
I've been accursed.
Maybe.
I've been accursed. You do it so much better than I do, so I can't do it. Remind me to tell you a story after the show about names, and you guys, I'm not going to say it on your bed. All right, let's start off finding out what our first impression may be for The Accursed, and we'll start off with Crystal Cleveland.
I keep running my fingers through my hair and starting to get all messed up.
Cool.
But so I need to stop that. Okay, so this movie is very confusing for me. It's I don't feel like it exactly knows what it wants to be. On the one hand, you have Mena Suvari, who I have to admit I loved in this role. She was legitimately scary and legitimately good, and she had, every time she was on screen or she was in the picture, I enjoyed the movie.
Yes.
Actually,
yes.
I really did. When she was there, I was like, this is good. This is a serious movie. It is intended to be a serious movie. And yet, I'm gonna be a little bit spoilery here. But you have a Deadite throwing apples at a character in the movie, and it just blew my mind. Like, don't get it, don't understand where that came. I'm like, what? The makeup is, like I said, it reminds me of a Deadite. If it was in an Evil Dead movie, it'd be great. It'd be fabulous. Even the act of the throwing apples, I can totally get behind that. But not in this movie. It's odd. It's weird. The makeup is really bad. Like, literally laughably bad. And that is disappointing. The story is logical, for as any supernatural story can be, as much logic as there is. But the beginning characters, the mother and the daughter, are very cliche and very odd. And the wig, I don't know if that's a wig on the girl. And then when the girl opens her mouth and it's just a black tunnel, I'm like, did you forget CG? I mean, what is going on here? I really wanted to like the movie. I feel like the cinematography is really beautiful. Some of the shots I saw and I was like, this is really nice. It's really pretty. I'm really, really liking the way this looks. I'm so confused because on the one hand, there are things that I really liked. And on the other hand, I'm like, what on earth made you think that this was serious, or you should put this in a serious movie, or you don't think that this looks like it's a caricature of a person? I'm honestly confused about how I feel about this movie. That's the best way to describe it. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, me. Let's see who's next. Jeff Mohr. What was your first impression of The Accursed?
I'm going to say, let's see. I'm going to say it's a little rough around the edges. I wasn't as turned off as it sounded like. I didn't think that much about the makeup because I don't know what they were going for. So I just went, so that's what she looks like. Although at the end, I've got some questions. I have no idea what the hell happened there. And there was a thing that happened that I think was in the wrong place in the story, because I can't imagine why the person it happened to the action they took was ridiculous. And I thought it wrecked the whole movie for me. But I think there are some good parts. Love Meg Foster, especially in those opening scenes.
The opening scenes is fantastic.
And I actually kind of like the mother and the daughter too that were.
Well, there's 3 sets. So which one are we talking about?
Well, the ones that are in that opening scene.
Okay, gotcha.
That mother-daughter. I don't know. Some of the acting seemed a little off, but
what?
But I like the end. I actually did like the ending. The very final scene, but I still didn't know how we got there. There was one extra step in there that I kind of went, what? Who's that? Where did that come from? Okay, so anyway.
I think I saw that stuff.
I'm done, but I was, it's not. I didn't hate it, and I didn't think it was terrible, and I like some of the stuff, except for that one thing just really bugged me in the plot. So,
I'm curious about that. Wow.
Yeah.
We'll talk later.
We will. Christopher G. Mohr, what was your first impression of The Accursed?
Which is appropriate that it rhymes with worst.
I
did not like this film. It's shot very well.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only positive. I thought the acting was as wooden as the house in the movie. It's
ouch.
And I'll say there's some of the they don't know how to effectively do scares in parts. The music is really bad. I mean, the cinematography. Yeah, there's a lot of cool. There's a lot of cool shots from below and things. I mean, the opening scene, even though I didn't like the acting I didn't like the mom and the daughter, and I thought their acting was just they looked like they were possessed. So, and the demon that possessed them didn't know how to act. I mean, other than Meg Foster, who I thought, she played her role fine, but everybody else, the dialogue was horrible. It was like it was like, welcome to Expositionville. But it was not even interesting dialogue. And then I was kind of confused because when we go to that first scene after that initial scene, I thought maybe that was one of the characters from previously. And so I was kind of confused, like, why are we following these characters? So it didn't make sense why, that's just bad. That is bad screenwriting 101 right there. Yeah. And it's like, they're just, this girl says, I don't believe in curses, but then she's being haunted the whole time by Grandma Adams. This
Grandma
film,
Adams.
yeah, I mean the makeup looked like Grandma Adams, and then I was thinking Deadite part in the one part where she's like,
"Thank you,
I'm throwing rotten apples at you, and I'll get you a pretty dog too."
Yes.
And I was like, "This is
God, that's
stupid.
hilarious.
This is so stupid." Which is sad because I think there's elements of this could be a good movie. I think the hand coming out of the mouth is the only really good effective thing that they worked out. And we got a little bit of that when we actually see the demon towards the end. But I just thought this was not. It's kind of sad because the cinematography is good, but then it's like you have an opening credit sequence like Buffy the Vampire Slayer. It's like some of the worst montage stuff with really bad music that actually seems to be copying Buffy the Vampire Slayer, but not in a good way. It's like really bad 90s television montage opening scene. And then later on, we see like the little montage stuff popped up. Which, I mean, again, there's elements in here that could have been a good movie. I mean, even though it doesn't make sense, the very end shot, that would be good in a better movie. That was wasted on this film. And and as much as I like Mena Suvari, I think she's horrible in this.
No,
I felt sad for her. I was like, man, she needs to be in better movies because she's a better actress in this film. I didn't like any of the acting in it. Yeah, I felt like somebody had cursed me by watching this.
No,
but
that'd be me.
But yeah, but there's elements of it that I can appreciate. It would have worked better in a better film because just how the story plays out is just, it doesn't make a lot of sense. It's not even interesting. I think maybe there's like one element that scare wise it kind of worked involving the bed, but other than that, I just did not like this film.
I must have watched a different film. Maybe I watched the one from last year because I like this thing.
Or maybe it's because you watched it in.
Well, I did have to watch it in an unusual setting because of timing, but I enjoyed this. I thought the story was completely coherent. I had no trouble with it. And I liked all the characters. I liked the acting. I liked the crazy apple throwing thing. I liked it earlier too when she's before they get to the cabin, right? Because it takes a while for them to get to the cabin. There's this really weird break from the beginning, which is pre-credits, to get to Mira Savina. I said her name wrong, but anyway,
okay. Yeah.
But when they get there, I don't know. I had a blast with it. I like when the cop shows up and it has all this crazy. What do you say? Like, doesn't he say like motherfucker? It's very. I don't know. To me it worked. The hand effect is really good. I liked her friend trying to figure things out. I don't know. I'm a sucker, I guess. I enjoyed this. I liked it so much better than you guys are saying.
Honestly, I'm not trying to be a jerk, but it's so bad tonally.
It's incoherent at times.
I didn't experience that though. I didn't experience incoherent.
There is a Deadite throwing apples.
But that's her mom, right?
Yeah, so what? It's so bad. Like, this is supposed to be serious. What? Just the idea of a ghost throwing apples at someone is ridiculous anyway. That's not enough for you to stop and go, maybe that's kind of silly in a serious movie.
Maybe it meant something.
When I saw it, literally when I was watching the screen when this happened, I was like, Who thought this was a good idea? The fact that Christopher and I both didn't talk about this, and we both thought the same thing,
Well,
means there's a problem.
and this is the
Like,
sad
it's
part
bad.
is, you think I would be a sucker for a Evil Dead
Yeah.
type
Dead Eye kind of
reference,
thing, yeah.
And I
or
love it
or a
too.
Silence of the Lambs reference with a certain
Yes.
face off thing, and I was like, this is stupid.
I'm your friend till the end. The Chucky reference.
Yeah, there was like a Chucky reference in there too, but it's like,
I mean,
I did notice
I
that.
know.
That was
I
bad.
noticed all of that, and it still
Well,
didn't work.
Can
Yeah.
we say something real quick that the director behind this directed Willy's Wonderland? I don't know.
I loved Willy's Wonderland.
And the writer did Midnight Man. Do you remember Midnight Man, Christopher?
Yep.
We covered that.
oh,
I remembered. I don't know if
Oh, you might not have been.
Chris
I
doing it
don't
with
think
us,
I
I think.
reviewed that.
Maybe you did. Maybe
I
you-
think that seems like that was maybe even Vanessa. How long ago was that?
I did. I don't remember.
it was
Midnight
2016. So yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, so that, just to give you something, but so the mom, just to get back to the mom character, when she showed up before they got to the house, when she was in her own house, and the way she was, she appeared to her daughter the way that she was found dead by the lady that slapped her. So the front stuff.
Okay.
Go ahead.
How many times are they going to use the same gag as well? With the
They did. They like 3 or 4 times,
It was
right?
so annoying. I was like, okay.
Well, they were
Are
like,
you
we
gonna
can
do it
do this
again?
well,
Are
so
you
we're
gonna
just
do it
going to keep
again?
repeating this. Because everything
Well,
else, we don't know what we're doing.
I hate to poop on this movie because I feel like a lot of people put a lot of work into it. I really feel like there was effort here. I feel like they were trying, but the reality is I don't know what they were trying to do, and it is a absolute mess of a movie. It is a mess. It none of it flows. It doesn't fit together. And I feel bad saying that, but they
okay, so I understand that, but I want to get back to Mena because I loved her delivery.
loved her.
The way she delivered her, she was just so
Yeah, I
bang,
liked
bang,
her
bang, and so grumpy to everybody. It was fantastic.
Yeah.
I feel like
She
she was
was
just
scary.
monotone like the other girl. Just more grumpy monotone. And
It was, yeah,
that doesn't really take a lot of effort acting wise.
What other girl was
I
monotone?
don't know.
No, I think the mom and the daughter character.
Oh, Mary Lynn and
So monotone.
City.
Yeah. Like, we're going to,
I guess
we
I
need,
didn't
we
think
need
I
to
didn't
burn
get
this
that.
house down right now. So you need to get out.
Yeah, I didn't. It
But-
wasn't like
but-
that.
But why, when she opened her mouth, it was just black? Like, what was that about?
Her tongue was gone.
That's not what it looks like when someone's tongue's gone.
I know.
Yeah,
I don't know what it looks like when somebody's tongue is gone.
I do. And you
Okay.
can Google that and you can find out.
It was
but,
extra. It was extra dark in there, darker than anybody's mouth.
it's never nothing in someone's mouth. Like, obviously, you would still have your throat, you would still have your esophagus, you would still have your tonsils and everything. So I'm like,
Maybe they just made it black because they didn't have the.
I think that's what they did.
budget-
That's
the
what it
budget to
seemed
do
like.
that.
We don't really have the practical
Oh,
effect we can do here.
that's actually something else. Whoever the line producer is really needs to probably find another line of work.
What do you mean by that? Why?
Because I'm sitting here looking at the freaking apple throwing and I'm like, are you kidding me that they did wire work for this woman to throw apples? You know how expensive it is to do wire work? For her to throw apples, and then they skimped out on some of these other spots.
Well, it's because she was hanging in a lot of scenes. That was her thing. She hung herself. So that's.
Yeah, and
She wasn't. It didn't look like she was hanging. She was floating.
I thought it did.
Yeah, because
That's what I
her the way she was
Her
moving,
arms were, but
Yeah.
it's
It was
a
not-
lot
it was
of
not-
money to spend
well, it was not
when the
done
money
well.
a line producer should say, maybe we shouldn't spend the money on this and we should spend the money on that. Like, come on, like, it's not good. Like, there was plenty, like the tongue, had she opened her mouth and it actually been something. The music was ridiculous when they did it, like, oh my
The
god,
movie,
I'm
yeah,
hoping it's
music
something
was-
big.
They tried to
They tried to sell it with the music.
They tried to shoehorn that music in, like, oh, we're gonna make this a scare. We see just a bare shadow walking behind you in the mirror. We're gonna add that music because that's gonna scare you. No, it just looks like somebody walked on set by accident. It didn't. It wasn't effective at all. And I think that's the problem. There's levels of things that were effective and levels that were just way not effective. You know, it's and that's why they did the hand coming out of the mouth, because that was effective. That looked cool.
Yeah, I mean, especially that one shot when it came directly at the camera.
There's one shot where the mom appears under the bed that actually scared me, and that was the most effective scare. But everything else just didn't work at all. Between even the sound effect, even some of whoever did the sound effects of people walking, it was like so noticeable. They were just reusing the same sound design.
There were sound issues too.
Did you not like?
They did some ADR and it was bad. It was like hollow or something. I was like, really? I guess. Look, I'm not trying to poop on it, but there are so many issues.
I think as people that make movies, you're far more critical than the average person watching the movie, because I didn't see any of the stuff you're talking about.
Yeah,
I'm more critical when
it's
not done well. If a movie doesn't pull me in and get me entranced, I really don't care about I can watch The Evil Dead 2 a million times. Yeah, and there's parts where you can see the seams to things. But in this, it's like if it's not tracking me in the way it tells a story, if it doesn't make sense, if it becomes very incoherent, if the dialogue is horrible, then that's when I start looking at all the different things why this happened. And this movie is a mess of a movie, and it's kind of sad because it's shot really well. I would give props to the DP, because there's because that whole opening shot with the lightning and the tree and stuff, that was framed, looks really great. And I was like, oh man, this looks really, I mean, a lot of times if it's shot well, I can disregard bad dialogue and other things. But then this is the kind of film where the cinematography does not save it from the hell that it's creating, and it's kind of sad because that whole end scene, the way it looks,
I love
that
beginning,
visually, even though it doesn't make a lot of sense, but it looks great visually. But then it's like that doesn't make up for all the stuff I had to sit through, or just the illogical things that people, I guess, normally do in horror films. Like, oh yeah, if I found satanic symbols, I'm gonna go down to that basement, or like, let me in. There's a part where the cop goes in. It's like, what are you gonna do when you get in there? I don't know.
Well, and the whole microfiche thing. Like, what?
Microfiche.
Like, is that supposed to be funny? Like, why?
It's supposed to be. I mean, I did like that. I did like the side character.
Oh my god. Okay.
No.
I mean, it was obvious
it was not funny, and it was an attempt at being funny.
I thought her reaction to it was. I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like it tried too hard there, and really? I was like, okay, and that's why I'm confused about this movie. Were they actually trying to make a comedy, and I just missed it? Because there's a lot of things that scream comedy to me. I literally laughed at the apples. I was like, what?
I didn't laugh at the apples. I didn't find it funny.
I was like, WTF? What is going on? This is out of blue.
We got that.
I thought the apples was a theme. Like, they used apples a couple times, right? So why wouldn't she throw apples? Yeah. I don't get it.
Why?
There was a scene where Alma says, you came over and I gave you an apple and you ate it. And do I know what that means? I don't know what that means, but it was a theme.
There's a lot of things like that. The music carries over from that.
The dead apples around the tree. That still doesn't make the transfer there, guys. Like,
I didn't have a problem with it.
I didn't. Or dead apples or like rotten apples. Okay, you'd had a rotten apple delivered to you.
You didn't like it. We didn't see anything wrong with it. It's not. It's not going to change, no matter how many times we say it.
I'm still going to stand behind it. I saw a different movie.
You should. You should. I'm glad that y'all liked it. I mean, that means there's hope for this movie.
I didn't think it was a great movie.
I feel attacked by that.
Most of the stuff you're talking about. I just thought it was kind of uneven, and the story was uneven. And maybe that's what it looks like to me when you guys say
I was
some
thinking
of the stuff that you said.
Yeah, I was thinking there was pacing issues, but that was really like the extreme of it. I mean, I will agree that the mother and the daughter team at the beginning and then comes at the end with "I'm going to burn your house down." that they felt so out of place for me, and I was like, are you really a mother and daughter? They look so close, and they are, but okay. But at the same time, I was following the mythology they were building. You know, I don't know if. Let's go ahead and wrap this up. Let's give our score 1 to 5 and our favorite scene. I can't. Well, everybody's going to steal my favorite scene. I know that, but I'll find another.
Do you think so?
I have a sneaky suspicion. All right.
Obviously, you probably know what my favorite. I mean, okay, so I'm.
Well, it's not going to be the apples. What's your score?
I'm going to give it a 2.
A 2.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh,
and my favorite scene is in your face. Obviously, it's in your face. It's got to be in your face. I laughed.
Yes, when she takes the mask off her face off her face and
why
shoves
do
it
people insult people like that?
Yeah, she literally says like in your face, and I loved that. Okay, I know Christopher didn't like Mena. I loved her. I loved every minute of her on screen. She was wicked and delicious and evil and brilliant to me. And that scene was wonderful. Yeah.
Amen.
So,
Jeff, what's your score and your favorite scene?
Oh, so I get to take the favorite scene.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
So I'm giving this a 3 because I enjoyed it. I'm glad I watched it. It's not great shakes, but it's. I thought it had a decent story or background, but I think it could have been told better. Favorite scene, I'm going to do the. You guys apparently didn't like that, but
apples, throwing apples.
I love the opening scene, especially the finger bite.
Oh yeah, that was the finger.
I like that.
Really good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and smashing her face down onto the table.
I just like the whole setup. You know how they set her up to drink the blood, and whose blood is this, and
Yep. I did too. I like that quite a bit. You took my third favorite scene. All right,
your third?
Christopher G. Mohr, sir. How close to 4 will you get? What is your score and your favorite scene?
Divided by what?
Yeah.
Divided by 4? No. I'm not going to waste any more breath on this film. I'll give it a 2. And actually, I actually would have picked the scene that Jeff picked. Nice. I think if the film was more like that opening scene, it would have been a better film for me.
Okay.
But then it just went off the ledge into Crazyville with a lot of problems. I'll say I guess maybe the one effective scare for me was when the mom appears under the bed. For some reason that got me good to where I said, "Oh!" I shouted when it happened. I was like, "It got me!"
You're probably mad about that. That's
I was mad. How dare you? How dare you have that in this film that I don't like? So yeah, I'll say that's my favorite scene.
Oh my god, that is so funny. All right. Yeah, I'm almost embarrassed. I'm gonna give it a 3.75.
What?
I really enjoyed this.
Effing kidding me?
I think
Good for you.
This might be a what do they call them? Guilty pleasure. I think this might be guilty pleasure for me compared to your guys' score.
Guilty for sure.
Yeah. Well, that's why. That's why they do that.
Kidding.
I don't know.
I'm glad you liked it.
It worked for me. I followed the story. I got the setup. I got the there's parallels. There's themes. I was enjoying it. It felt. I don't know. I'm not going to belabor it, but my favorite scene. I'm so happy you guys didn't take my favorite scene, which is the ending, the whole hospital scene where somebody survived the fire and had a very interesting effect on all the others in the hospital room where they're. I just love the idea of all them hanging by their sheets. And she's in there singing that song. That's a theme. That song goes throughout the entire movie. Must be the only one they could afford. and she's singing it, and then in the way she she just looked. She looked she didn't look like herself. She looked like Mena, right? She was Mena, but it wasn't Mena. It was really interesting. And then that scream, I thought our lead really did a great scream. She did that twice in the movie, and she really belted it and did a good one. Her face, I dug in. Maybe that's why I like it, because it ended on that. Yeah. Because if you stick the landing like that, I tend to lean toward liking the movie. But Christopher, you didn't like the ending? I
like the ending, but that doesn't make up for the other.
Well,
it doesn't
90%.
all that other crap.
No, it might not make up for stuff, but it certainly leaves you with a, if the ending is poo-poo, then it gets worse, right?
It makes me sad that the rest of it wasn't like that. If the opening and the ending
had more of the same in between.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think it did from time to time. I agree. I'm not going to belabor it. There you go. That's our review of The Accursed. It is out on VOD and in some theaters. So, hey, check it out and let us know what you think in the comments down below. Jeff, Crystal, Christopher, thank you for joining me. This was a lot of fun. Well, at least it was for me.
You're welcome.
It was a lot of fun for me. I mean,
Well, sorry to be negative. We can't like everything. It's not. At least it's not a Rob Zombie film.
No, heck no.
Just wait. There'll be another one. All right. With that note, that optimistic note, let's say goodnight.
Good night.
Good night.